Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, Matt with Green Bar Trading. So it's currently Sunday. This is our week outlook video for the stock market. Coming up, seeing what is going to happen. There are a lot of earnings reports coming up, and we're going to go into the fundamentals and the technicals and some stocks that we're looking at. Now, I'm going to make this as quick of a video as possible because my kids do want to see their dad today. I was working at my other business all morning, just got home a little while ago, but I did a lot of the research already for the video yesterday. So getting right into the market. Now, let's start with the fundamentals. The fundamentals this week are on the economic calendar. Friday, you have the NFP, which is the non-farm payroll. They're expecting 800,000 new jobs created. So, we'll see the jobs reports have been decent, but definitely underwhelming with what some people were calling for, 1 million jobs a month created. It hasn't happened yet. So they're also expecting 5.8% on the unemployment, just an estimated amount. We'll have to wait on Friday and see what the numbers really look like. So one other thing that is potentially going to weigh on the market is the coronavirus and the Delta variant and new variants that potentially may cause the market to digest things a little more, which means it could take the wind out of the sails. This week you have earnings. What we have seen last week with Amazon, Apple, Pinterest, a couple of these stocks that really gapped down after their earnings, PayPal. When they gap down after their earnings, it's because they didn't give that guidance for future quarters that investors really like to see. I'm going to be watching earnings reports this week and how companies respond to see if anyone says anything about different variants, like the Delta variant with the coronavirus, and new maybe restrictions that governments are going to start to put on different countries. We've already seen it overseas. We've seen different countries going back into, little forms of lockdowns because of this variant. And what I'm going to be interested in seeing in our own country is there's been talk of a new mask mandate in different cities and states, and it's turning political, and all kinds of stuff are going on with this variant. And even if you're vaccinated, it looks like there's a potential, because it is so contagious, that even if you have the vaccine, you can still potentially spread it. So they want everybody to be wearing masks if you're indoors. Now, there's a big difference between wearing masks indoors and them actually going and shutting businesses down again, which would be absolutely devastating. And it would not be good at all for companies and earnings, especially these reopening stocks and hotels and travel and all kinds of stuff. If they do, even if they put limits on the amount of people that could be in, football stadiums coming up in the fall, this is all kinds of stuff that I'm going to be looking to see if companies say anything in their earnings reports. If they do, it's not going to be good for the stock market. So we are also entering a 3-month stretch of the stock market that is typically the weakest 3 months, which is August, September, and October. So we're going to have to just take a look and see, what happens. We are very overbought. This /NQ is the tech market. It's just the futures. I like to chart with this. It's a lot easier to chart. This is the last year of trading. We are in a very obvious channel. So we're at currently the top end of the channel. Every time we were at the top, we came back to the bottom. The bottom end of this channel is about 1,000 points lower than we are now. But even if we did eventually make our way down to the bottom end of this channel, we're still in an ascending bullish market. You know, we are due for a little bit of a correction. We've just been seeing these small, 3%, 4%, like 1 day type of corrections, but we haven't really seen the corrections that we've seen, in the past, in October, November. Some of these, 10% pullbacks in the NASDAQ were really pretty big. So we'll see what happens, but currently we're overbought. We're at the top end of the channel with the tech market. Now, something you can buy is SQQQ. That will go up if the tech market does, do a pullback. So you can profit by buying that ETF. It's a triple leverage, so it will go up 3 times the amount that the QQQ goes down. So that's something to look at. Taking a look at a couple of stocks that really had a rough time after earnings. Amazon finally broke out of its year-long consolidation in this area, only to gap down back right into the middle of it. Now, RSI, I mean, we're very oversold. And this is the third touch on the trend line. We can see a very nice bounce for Amazon, possibly this week, but we'll just have to see when and where the buyers want to step in, because this was a huge drop. Another one that dropped really big is Pinterest. It went from 75 to 59. Huge drop, very oversold on the RSI. Maybe we get a potential reversal there. PayPal is another one. Got rejected at previous highs. This one is coming back into what should be support. We'll have to wait and see if this RSI wants to continue to curve, and maybe we get a bounce off of this one. Square is also one that has their earnings this week. So we'll see, these companies are priced to perfection. So if during their earnings reports, they don't give investors what they want to hear, yeah, their stock's going to get crushed. It's just the way it is. When you're priced to perfection, you have to deliver. So, there's a couple of other ones here. Capital One looks like it wants to set up for a breakout. I'm going to be looking at that one. Chewy is always on my radar. This one is bouncing off the 200-day moving average, also the 20 EMA. This could provide a nice higher high. Eventually, we want to get back up into the hundreds with this stock. We'll have to see what happens with it. BTBT, a Bitcoin stock that has ripped up in the last couple of days because of Bitcoin, has resistance at the 940 level. So if we could gap up higher than that, this one could go for a ride, as it did back here, all the way up to $33. So BTBT is going to be on my watch list. AMC is forming a bit of a pattern here. Weak, but it is still holding up at higher lows. So while this stock does continue to bleed, it's still not dead yet. And then we just go to the Dow Jones Industrial on a very clear uptrend that we're currently at all-time highs on, just about. So know the market you're in, guys and girls. Understand, we're just making all-time highs almost every other day. It's going to be a choppy road, but we are at all-time highs. This is expected. Anytime you get up to that level, you're going to see profit taking, just like a regular stock. When a stock gets to all-time highs, sometimes you'll see it has some trouble breaking out the first time. So it'll do a cup, it'll set up a handle, and then it will break out. It's the same way with the market. When it comes back up, and retests all-time highs, a lot of times it will, see a little bit of resistance first, before, and there'll be a lot of chop. It's just, up at these levels, the market really expects perfection. So anytime there's some, negative news or something out, or the Fed talks, you could see a little bit more choppiness. So that's it for me. Very quick outlook. Just a couple of fundamental things to keep in mind. The jobs on Friday, the Delta variant, some other things out of our control, and watching those earnings reports like we have right here. And I'll just post this thanks to Earnings Whisperers. This is all the companies this week having their earnings. So starting on Monday through Friday, DraftKings is on Friday. A couple of interesting ones that I'm going to be watching. Really for me, it starts on Tuesday. That's when some of the stocks that I know are coming out. I want to see how they do. But if you want to take a screenshot, or just going to our Discord every morning, I post a daily outlook, also the earnings for the day and key levels on the SPY and the Qs. The Discord's free. It's linked there in the description. You guys can, join that if you want to. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up for me, and I'll see you back tomorrow with the next one. Take care.